Hello, fans, beer fans, and fans of mythological creatures. Today we're looking and examining Dragon Stout, and I'm joined by Harry Meadows, Harry the beer guy from merry old England.
Hello.
And welcome from the state of Louisiana, one of the 50 United States of America. Well, I did a review of Dragon Stout years ago, and it was in the old label, the old yellow label, and then I did a revisit of it. So people might be saying, I'm getting tired of looking at Dragon Stout, but it's not sold in Louisiana. I've never seen it anywhere in the South. I've seen it in New York City, and that's it. But I was in New York City earlier this month, and I saw it, and I figured I'll pick it up.
All right.
And you say it's located in an unusual part of the beer outlets in your country.
It's the thing, you can only really find it in Tesco in the UK. I haven't seen it anywhere else. And when you're in Tesco, it's the only place I've seen it is in the international food section, and it's never served alongside the other beers. When you consider that Red Stripe is also part of the same brewery really, and Red Stripe is sold alongside the rest of other beers, but this one is just not. It's just had its own aisle with the rest of the international foods.
Well, that's strange. And Diageo and Geddes were the two English men living in Jamaica that founded the company in 1920. And the first beer they produced was Dragon Stout. It's a strong, what do you call these? 7.5% alcohol. They're called foreign extra stouts, right? Much like Guinness foreign extra stout, 7.5. Jamaica was a British colony, just like the United States. The 13 colonies, part of Louisiana today was a British colony. So your country has had a bit of influence around the world.
Just a bit.
And not just in politics, but in beer production. We have to admit that. In America but the Germans changed that game, because before the German immigration in the 1840s, America was big into rum. And that was the big drink, the rum. And so when the German lagers started to arrive, Americans began to switch over to lagers and some ales, but that was considered more like a soft drink, healthier drink, because rum being so heavy, they called it rot gut. But people would just drink that all day long. You know, the water was dangerous. You couldn't drink water. So rum was considered, of course, it's going to lead to alcoholism, but it wasn't going to kill you immediately or make you very ill like water. I'll say a few more things and then I'll be quiet. Diageo and Geddes did introduce Red Stripe in 1928, but they said that it originally was a dark beer, and then it was changed into the light, what do you call it, island style lager.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. Yes, yeah.
And then Diageo and Geddes was bought out by another DG, Diageo and Guinness. So Diageo is a huge brand holder that owns the Guinness beer, so popular, and the Red Stripe line, which Dragon Stout is considered part of. But it is brewed in Jamaica, whereas the Red Stripe today, for the past 3 years, has been brewed in Pennsylvania for the American market.
Yeah, it does make me think. I think Red Stripe's most likely brewed in the UK as well, under another name, but this one obviously just still being brewed in Jamaica.
And it's a strange little bottle size, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what is it, 284 ml. I don't know why that shows up in ounces over there, but 284 mils.
9.6. And our standard bottle is 12 ounces, so it's 9.6 as opposed to 12. So it's a strange bottle size. I think it's sold in New York City because of the large West Indies immigrant population. Most Americans haven't had it. It wasn't priced very high.
No, I found it really cheap. It was £1.35 I paid, which, when you consider most beers, a minimum you'll pay would be about £1 60 really for the minimum of like a basic beer. This is a really good priced beer, really good price.
Yeah, I think it was about $2.25, which is about, when you convert it, about the same.
Yeah.
Now, the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, I'm seeing that more and more around here. 7.5% alcohol. It comes in the 12-ounce bottles, or it might be 11.2 ounce, 330 milliliters. But that's also about $2.20. If you look on the Diageo website, it's incredible, all the brands they own. I'll just show let's look at the beer real quick. I'm on there now. It's unbelievable. They must do like Heineken, though. They buy up different breweries and just leave them alone and say, we own it and do your thing. As long as the money keeps rolling in, don't you think that's probably their approach?
You were saying about the Guinness. I actually bought that today because I saw it alongside the Dragon Stout, and they're selling 4-packs of it. 4 packs of the Guinness in 330ml bottles, and that's being sold for £6.25, which isn't too bad. But when you can buy the big bottles of Foreign Extra Stout, which is about, I'm not sure whether it's a 660 or a 680, but it's a big bottle nonetheless, and that's £3.25 for a big bottle.
No, we don't get those. We get the big bottles of the Guinness Extra Stout, 6% alcohol. We get those, and they're about $3.99 a bottle, and they're about 22 ounces, something like that. But Guinness is extremely popular around here. The Guinness Extra Stout, the Guinness Draft, which comes in 2 formats, can or bottle, and they're different actually. Yeah. But that's fairly popular. They do sell Guinness on draft with the keg at some bars. I've never had it, and we get Guinness. So we get 3, and possibly, if you look at it that way, 4 different varieties of Guinness, and it's obviously the most popular stout in America. I'm looking at some of these other beers on their website. They're saying Meta beer. Meta.
Never heard of it.
It's from Ethiopia. Have you ever seen that?
You say your Guinness Original. It was Guinness Original that comes in a bottle. I've started to see that's coming out in cans now as well.
And that's 4%?
Yes, yeah. Oh, sorry, there's the Guinness Original, which is like the black can. Then you've got the Guinness Original in a bottle, which is a twist cap bottle, which is a bit different. And then we're seeing these Guinness, another different type of Guinness Original, and that's being sold a completely different style can. It's got Guinness and it's got 2X. I haven't bought it yet. I'll have to try it out. But that's also coming out as well.
Harry, there must be 20 different varieties of Guinness, huh?
Oh, it gets so confusing because they all look pretty much the same. They've got mid-strength as well, which will come out soon enough over your way. Yeah,
and then we got this Guinness 1759 Gourmet in the very big bottle. That's about $32 a bottle. We've got Guinness Blonde American Lager, which came out last year and seems to be doing well. We also got Harp, which is sort of like the same thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to read these brands off this website. I know we've all had Guinness and Harp. Kilkenny, I've not had that, but I know it pops up in America from time to time. I've just missed it. Smithwick's, yes, we get that. Tusker, yes, I've seen it from Africa. Red Stripe. Senator Keg. I know Senator is some kind of budget beer from like Uganda or Kenya or something like that. Windhoek, which is from Southwest Africa, Namibia.
Yeah. Old
German brand. Bell Lager, I've never heard of it. Serengeti, it's got to be from Tanzania. And Meta from Ethiopia. So it's incredible. And then real fast, there are spirits. You go down there and there's a huge list. And I'm just going to hit brandy. Let's see what comes up with brandy. Bertram's VO, never heard of it. Bertram's. Well, obviously this company's making a load of money.
Load of drinks.
I've not even done any serious wine or distilled spirits reviews. I've done a few wine videos for like oddball wine brands like Kiafa from Finland, the cherry wine. Do you think you'll ever get into doing that, or you're just going to stick with beer?
Well, I'm from a family of non-beer drinkers. They all drink wine, so I can always have a little tap. I never really had the taste for it, to be honest. I think it's something, I suppose, alongside with beer. Beer, I never had the taste for it, and then I eventually got the taste for it. I suppose it's something, if I were to really look into doing it, I'd do it. But at the moment, no. I just do beers and ciders at the moment.
Yeah, cider, I will not mess around with cider. My daughter got me to do a video with ciders, and I did not like them. I never did like cider from the second bottle. The first bottle I liked, the second one I didn't like, and I just can't go there. Wine, I'm like you, I don't really care for it. Possibly one day I would explore it more. Hard liquor, it could happen, but the beer is so elaborately filled, right? I mean, you could never get through the long march of the beer brands. You'd be an old person, then you say, let me do wine, you'd be 95 years old, right?
Yes, yeah. More than that. Yeah, and I find there's so many flavors you can get in beers, which you get in wine as well. For example, or like the Nelson Sauvin hops, when you see that in a beer, you get, and that's got the very vinous taste which you get in wine. I think for me, beer's got, I don't know an awful lot about wine, but I think beer's got so much more potential than you can with wine. There's so many more variables in beer, which is more interesting for me.
Yeah, but I bet you, the argument could be made that wine has that, and I think the argument could certainly be made that hard liquor has those variables, huh?
Yes.
I just don't have a taste for hard liquor too much.
Okay, I've never, I mean, apart from being forced to drink it in certain places when we completely ran out of beer, I never really touch it. Like whiskey is very popular here. The one thing I do notice is we don't get bourbon over here. Obviously, you get it everywhere there, but it just doesn't happen over here.
I like how you pronounce that word. Say that word again.
Bourbon. I'm pronouncing completely incorrectly.
We say bourbon.
Oh, okay.
Bourbon. Bourbon.
Yeah, no, we don't get it over here. We get whiskey and obviously vodka's coming in more and more. But
we get bourbon like, oh, it's incredible, all the bourbons we get. And the one that everybody looks for is that Pappy. It's real rare. It's about $100 a bottle.
Jeez.
Pappy, what is it called? Oh, it came in the store, and the manager said, "Don't tell anyone because it's only for one customer. We could only get one bottle." I said, "Okay," but we get a lot of bourbons. Well, anyway, we can go on and on, blah blah blah. But let's examine this one, because this one's really fascinating me as I'm sipping on it and smelling it while we're talking. It's so much different than Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, even though it's 7.5, huh?
It's honestly, the first time I saw this, I was like, I have no idea what this is, and I reviewed it quite some time ago, and it's a real find for quite a low price.
Do you get an ingredients list on your bottle? We don't have that on ours.
No, we don't. No, nothing. Just says drink responsibly and contains barley. That's all.
I read some things saying it contained corn syrup and all kind of other things, but I never saw anything definitive. So until I see something definitive, I couldn't comment on it. The aroma, don't you find it has a strong? Well, I'll let you talk, but I'm going to say something.
Yeah, it's got a lovely fruitiness, dark fruits. Definitely like caramel in it.
That's what I wanted to say, fruit. Now, my date on the back got sheared off, so I don't know. The paint is off the back. I don't know what the date is on this, but it's 7.5. It's not a real hoppy beer anyway, so it should age a good while, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, mine's dated for June 2016, so got plenty of time on it. But yeah, it would age, definitely. Age well. It
does have a strange fruitiness. To me, the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, the first thing you get on that is like that strong cocoa powder and that coffee, and that deep barley. But here you're getting like fruit, grape, or or prunes.
So definitely like darker, like more winter fruits. I'd say.
Yeah,
Like raisins and prunes. Yeah.
it almost reminds me of fruit cake. I don't know if you get fruit cake in England.
Yeah.
It's very distinctive. It doesn't smell like any other stout I've ever sniffed.
I'm also picking up like a sweetness as well, and I can't put my finger on what sweetness exactly is, but maybe a touch of vanilla or something. I don't know.
I'll say like the sweetness in the fruit. Like what kind of sugar is that in fruit? It's not the same as sugar cane or beet. No, it almost is like beet sugar, maybe. I don't know. It's very odd. It's almost I don't feel like I can describe it too accurately. I don't think I can. How about the flavor?
Flavor. Well, it's got that initial fruitiness. Carbonation isn't too high, to be honest. The carbonation is quite nice. It works perfectly with it. And you get some caramel and maybe a little touch of some, I don't want to say coffee, but like the coffee bitterness that you get from it. It's not really coffee in its flavor at all.
No, there's definitely an underlying bitterness. But don't you find that the bitterness is at the bottom of the sip?
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely. It's not a big one. It's not in your face at all.
But it's there. It's in the aftertaste. Take a sip and then think about it. And that bitterness is like lies flat at the bottom. I don't know how. You know, I was drinking an IPA earlier, a red IPA, but I don't think it's really an IPA. I think it's just a red ale. Well, you know, these days everything has to be an IPA. But the bitterness on that one, and that was 60 international bitterness units. It seems so mild. I don't know what the IBU on this is, but I would guess it must be pretty high to counterbalance the sweetness from the ABV and the malts. But you know, sometimes these high bitterness units won't show themselves when you have such a high malt build up. Yeah,
I read something some time ago about the IBUs. When you get to a certain point, it's kind of hard to work out. I think this was something like above like 70 or 80. So I had a beer which said it was 1,000 IBU or something, and it was really, really bitter. It was an IPA, I believe. I can't quite remember who it was brewed by now, but 1,000 IBUs, and it was just really, really bitter. But 1,000 IBU, and people were saying the difference between 100 and 1,000 IBU, you can barely tell it because it's just too difficult.
It's like trying to say, well, let's look at all these infrared images, but if your eye cannot see infrared, what's the purpose of looking at it? I gotta say, the flavor on this ale is so strange. It has sort of a light mouthfeel, though. I don't think anyone could say that it's, you know, they'll say Guinness Foreign Extra Stout has a viscous, kind of a heavy body, and I agree with that. This one does not.
It's worryingly easy drinking, I'd say. It's very, very easy to drink. It's not like overly viscous or it's just as you say, an odd one, just a difficult one to explain.
Apparently, it's very popular in Jamaica, and they put it in these small bottles, and it could be the small bottles are because there's an overindulgence of it.
I do think so, yeah.
You know, like they go out to a bar and they drink too many of these bottles, and then the fights break out. But you can feel it.
Yeah, you definitely feel a bit of a warmth in it.
You can feel it more than you can taste it. You don't get, there's no alcohol pickup in the flavor. But I'm here I am. This is what I've got left in the glass, but I can feel it in your brain or whatever. There's a heat, like you said, there's a heat to it. You know, 7.5%. That's pretty high.
Yes, it's why not drinking all of it.
If you were to drink a 500 milliliter of this, I think you would just, you would just get blasted. Or we use different terms. Like in America, they say drunk, roaring drunk, stoned, lit up, three sheets to the wind. I don't know. In England, they say pissed, I think.
Yeah, we use three sheets to the wind as well. Pissed is there's just so many. I mean, coming into like more popular culture, there's like thousands. So it's thousands of different terminology now.
Yeah, they don't ever say pissed in America, because pissed in America means you're angry about something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're so mad you want to fight. But so those meanings, those connotations are not the same. Do I like it though? That's the question. I mean, I do like it in one way, but I don't think it holds up against the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. But maybe it's got the light body because it is from Jamaica, a tropical island, and that heaviness of the Foreign Extra Stout may not go over well at all. But then on the other hand, what's the most popular beer in Nigeria? Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. And we know that country's hot and humid and jungle. And
well, yeah, I mean, I was speaking to James Marshall of Rampant Lion Reviews yesterday about this, and he was saying he just couldn't believe that people in Jamaica were drinking like stouts. We always associate it with being more of a lager or a light beer, or just light beers in general that they drink. But I suppose they're used to the climate. That might be another thing that worth considering. They may be a little bit more used to the climate.
I think you hit the nail on the head, because people will tell me, oh, how could you drink heavy beers like that? And you live in Louisiana and it's so hot, it's subtropical, you know, maybe 60% of the year we have a climate similar to Jamaica. Well, we're used to it. So like to be sweaty and hot and feel like you're in the shower, you know, and your shirt is wet, you don't think about it so much. So to drink a heavy beer in that climate, it doesn't really, you don't think, oh, I'm in this heat. But if somebody from New Jersey or Vermont or New Brunswick, Canada came down here, they would just say, oh, I'm so hot, I can't, you know. But then if I go up north and I'm not used to cold and I don't like cold, although the cold we have in Louisiana is so chilling because it's humid, so you get cold and you got the humidity, so you feel chilled. Maybe I would have an easier time up there, but I know it's pretty chilly in England.
It's not too bad at the moment. It's about 20 degrees today. It's quite, well, 20 degrees here. I don't know how much that is in your measurement, but it's not too bad at the moment.
That's about 69 degrees in America.
Okay.
South's be like cool. Maybe you'd have socks on. You wouldn't go around with flip-flops, but you have socks. Cool. We get that kind of weather here around early October.
Lucky.
But right now, yesterday, I'm telling you right now, yesterday was 95 degrees. It was so humid. So I cut the grass and I was just sweating, but I said, well, in a way, it's good because it's just like you just sweating, and in a way you're getting impurities out of your body. And my father said, oh, how could you stand being out in that heat and sweating? I said, well, in a way it didn't bother me. I didn't mind. But anyway, enough of theoretics, I guess. And theoretics, general principles, and ordinary hobnobbing. Harry, if you don't go to North Korea again, come to Louisiana and we'll drink beer. What is my overall assessment of this is that the beer is confusing to me, but I do like it and I would have it again. And I would recommend everybody to try it. It is so unique, or I guess it can't be so unique, because what does unique mean? Unlike anything else? Okay, it's unique.
I mean, yeah, I definitely second that to what you're saying. It's different in its taste. It's hard to compare to anything else you've had before, really. There's so many just oddities in this beer. I really enjoy it. I'd definitely go and get another one again, especially considering the price of it over here. So yeah, So again, definitely recommend anyone trying it over here in the UK or anywhere else. Definitely go and try it if you see it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Beer Advocate is saying that it's okay, like a C, fair. The bros, the two guys that founded Beer Advocate, they're saying it's outstanding, an A+. So I think they're picking up some things we're picking up. The average drinker on the first go, you might have problems with it. Rate beer, which to me, I have a lot of problems with rate beer. They're so ultra critical. They hate everything. But they say 48 out of 100 and a 24 out of 100 for the style. And then they're given the ingredients. Where they got this from, I don't know. They don't give any kind of sourcing. They don't tell you where it comes from. So they're saying black malt, okay. Corn syrup, possibly. Caramel malt, certainly. Hop extract, probably. Priming sugar used when bottling. That's so common for stouts and Belgian style ales, right? Sugar. Well, I think 48 out of 100 is outlandishly low.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely say it's more. I'm just looking at the page now. It's more like a 80 for me personally. What did I rate it? I rate it 3.6 out of 5. So yeah, I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I would say it's. I would put it in the excellent class, but at the lower end of excellent, say like A-.
Yeah,
it's an excellent beer, but it has flaws. But in a way, the flaws, the overriding grape flavor, the prune, the strangeness of it, the oddity of it, the peculiar semi-watery mouthfeel, all these things distinguish it. So it's almost like the flaws make it what it is. Because does every beer have to be every other beer? That's the argument I get into with so many beer connoisseurs. You know, they say, oh, it's got these 6 things wrong. And I say, yeah, but what good would it be if every beer tasted like every other beer? I don't see why that would be interesting.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
So you'd recommend it also to others?
Oh, absolutely. It's got its own real unique taste, as we're just tapping on there. It's got its own real unique taste, and it's just an interesting. It's not a super odd beer. It's not a super weird beer at all. It's just got some interesting unicalities about it, which I definitely recommend to anyone.
Right. It's not like Freyach.
Oh God, no.
Right. But it's, you know, you're talking about odd beers. But are there better stouts? Yeah. I'll give you an example. John Courage Russian Imperial Stout. But then, of course, John Courage, you're going to pay 3 times the amount. So if you want to wear gold jewelry, then you're going to pay for gold. If you're satisfied with silver,
get Dragon Stout.
Well, anyway, Harry, another project we're looking at is Miller.
Yes.
Totally different product.
Yes, it's an interesting one because I haven't seen that around the UK for quite some time. And then I've just dropped into this local bottle shop and I looked over on the other side, and I've never been to this bottle shop before. So I always knew it to be like a normal standard off license and just didn't really want to go in there. I looked in, I saw Miller on the other side. They did have some craft beers on as well. And thought, yes, let's go and try it out. And I must say, I kind of enjoyed it. It was definitely very different to everything else, or other lagers I can get over here. I found it a little bit different. So, yeah, I'll be looking forward to trying that sometime soon.
Yeah, and to close this out, hold on just a moment, just to close this out. My refrigerator is right around the corner. I tell you what, it's really strange because Miller Genuine Draft, I remember when that came out onto the market in 1986 nationwide, it was so highly touted. They had endless television commercials, radio, print ads, posters everywhere. It was huge. So for 20 years, 86 to 2006 probably, it was like one of the top beers in America. Now it's degenerated down to It's been kicked to the curb.
Mm.
It's strange because Miller Genuine Draft is what you're looking at over there.
Yeah.
Is a version of this.
Right.
Okay. Miller High Life was introduced in 1855. You know, it was a German adjunct lager made with corn by Frederick Miller, who was a German immigrant. It was called Miller's Lager. That's what it was called, Miller's Lager. Then in 1903, he wanted to kind of step it up, so he renamed it Miller High Life to try to portray, you know, you're living the high life, you're moving up in the world, so you're drinking Miller beer. But it was pasteurized, you know, they boil it to kill the germs, so it will stay in the bottle and can for a long time. And then in 85, they invented this cold filtering process where they pasteurized the beer, but without heat. They filter it through a ceramic filter where it kills or it filters out the bacteria, and it's just like if you were getting it on draft out of a keg.
Okay.
They called it Miller High Life Genuine Draft, later changed to Miller Genuine Draft. But the strange thing is, you can barely get it anymore. Just, I think it was more expensive, and people just didn't want to pay the extra amount. So the Miller High Life is wildly popular in America. Every store, I would say that there's not a beer store in this country that does not sell High Life. And it's probably 40% cheaper than the Genuine Draft. Is it as good? We're going to look at that soon. No, it isn't. But then it's not 30% worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the consumer realized that the High Life was so much less expensive, and the trade-off was worth it. So High Life is big, and Genuine Draft is. Get on their website. There's nothing there. It's like Red Stripe. It says new website coming soon. It's been saying that for the whole year of 2015. New website coming soon. That's making me think, no, it's not coming soon. You look on their Facebook page, and somebody was telling me, hell, Genuine Draft's Facebook page hasn't been updated since January of 2014.
Jeez.
High Life is constantly updated. If you look at this can, it's a Louisiana.
Yeah.
They have an artist series. They sponsor artists, and they even give the name of the artist. Was a guy named. Well, anyway, I don't want to get into all that, but so you can tell pretty easily which one is doing well and which one is not doing well. And before we close this out, because it's been 30 minutes, I want to ask you this question. I've asked other English beer enthusiasts, and they never give me a straight answer. And apparently, they don't understand the question. I said, what are the regular run-of-the-mill beers in England? And they'll say, oh, no, it's not. But because in America, there are run-of-the-mill beers. You know what I mean? Like everyday beers that anybody drinks. Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Budweiser, Coors, Banquet, Miller High Life, Pabst Blue Ribbon. You see this everywhere. Anywhere in America where you go. Those beers that I named. Anywhere. Now in England, I don't know. I talked to a guy from England in Miami, and I was saying, oh, you're from Great Britain? Yeah. He says, I'm from Wales. I said, well, you like drinking, huh? Oh, yeah, we drink all the time, constantly. We go out to bars, to pubs, we drink beer all the time. So I'm thinking, he's from England. He's going to give me this great insight. I said, well, what is the most popular thing you drink? Oh, we all drink Budweiser. I was floored. I couldn't believe it. Like, what are the run-of-the-mill English beers? I never have gotten this answer.
It's a difficult one because in terms of mass, all the ones that are kind of mass consumed, they tend to be like foreign lagers, really. But I think the one English one I could say would probably be Carling. Carling being a lager, and that's often consumed. So the other ones would be Carlsberg, Stella, Grolsch. Grolsch isn't found as much. Beck's. But yeah, I say Carling's probably the bigger one. Strongbow do cider though, but Strongbow have tapped into some beers, I believe. But
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I'd probably say Carling is the big one.
That was the beer that was in my head, but I was reluctant to mention it. I wanted to see what you were going to say. So if I go to Great Britain on a trip and I go to any store, whatever, they'll have Carling everywhere, right?
Absolutely, easily, definitely.
Now
You'll see it everywhere.
in America, it's almost totally unavailable. Carling Black Lager. It's called Carling. I mean, it's Carling Black Label.
Yes, I see it. Yeah.
In America, it's Carling Black Label. In Canada, it's Carling Black Label, and it's the #1 beer in South Africa, but it's still called Carling Black Label. I don't know why in England they dropped the Black Label. They still have the horse head, but my father, he's 71 years old. He said back in the 1960s when they would drink, you know, they were all in their 20s or teenagers, they would buy Carling Black Label because it was inexpensive and they would drink it. But then it just faded away. So I would like to go to England just to kind of cruise the beer aisles and see what's ordinary. You know, in some ways, the ordinary beers are more fascinating because we get the specialty items left and right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just want to think. Actually, Carling's by a long way the English beer market leader, I'd say. Another one, you do see John Smith's a fairly decent amount. You do see John Smith's a lot, and then occasionally less so, but there's still a large amount of people who drink it. Is Boddington's. You do see that, but that's not. You don't find that in every single shop, but you'll see it in a lot of pubs. But it does vary per because you call it there. It's called Boddington's Pub Ale when you get it in a can. It's just called Boddington's here, of course.
Yeah, we get Boddington's at. You see in America though, it's weird because Boddington's in the USA is presented as a much more stepped up product. In other words, if you want to show people that you really know what's up with the beer scene, you're gonna make sure they see you drinking Boddington's. But in England, people told me, "Oh hell, you fool! You drinking Boddington's?" And Stuart Pickard and I got jumped on by some people. Said no one in their right mind drinks Boddington's. And Stuart said, "Well, what are you talking about?" And so it caused a big conflict. And then we were talking about John Smith's ale, and some people chimed in and said, "John Smith's ale, oh mercy me! No one in Great Britain likes John Smith's ale. Everyone knows it's garbage. It's a dead ale." That's what they said. It's a dead product. And Stuart Pickard said, "What do you mean it's dead? I go all around England. It's everywhere."
Yeah.
They said, no one likes it. Well, of course, obviously people like it, but I didn't know. I went to one isolated little beer store and they had John Smith's ale, 4-packs with the horseshoe, you know.
Yep.
Bought it. And to me, it was really good, but I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to like it. So I was going in there, you understand, like unaware of the backstory for it. And so when I talked about it, I'm on Facebook and said, "Oh, guess what? I drank this really delightful beer, John Smith's ale." And then the whole internet lit up. Ding, 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 ding. No. Which to me was so interesting.
Yeah, it's just, they do have a bit of a stigmatism with them. Those big ales like John Smith's or Body as we call it. But I'm just of the opinion. Just drink it. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. So don't really ever take anyone else's opinion on too much. I don't like it when people try and force their opinion down someone's throat about beer when they say it's like, oh, it's rubbish. It's just because of the name. There's so many stigmatisms attached to it. So I just try anything really. Yeah,
and one more thing, then we're going to stop. You wanted to do the Abbott Ale. Now, around 2 years ago, they had a few stores that were selling Abbott Ale. And at first I didn't like it, then I did like it. And I went back to get Abbott Ale. Nope, gone. I went to get Wexford Irish Cream Ale. Gone. John Smith's Ale. Gone. And another one that's gone is, what was the other one I was looking for? Another one of those ordinary beers. But gone. And the only English beers that seem to really have any kind of traction over here, that have any kind of momentum, is Newcastle, which is without any reservation, the most popular English beer in America, everyone sells Newcastle.
Mm.
And all the varieties that you can't get. Another beer that is popular in America is the the Samuel Smith's line, which is sold in all the stores. Yeah, everywhere. Samuel Smith's everywhere.
I find that so odd because it's a Yorkshire beer. I can't find it here at all. You can find it maybe if you can't find it in supermarkets. You have to really look in in a bottle shop to find it. But then you go up north and you'll find it everywhere. I just find it so odd that that's made its way over to the US and is selling massively. So weird.
I would say that Samuel Smith's beers are probably the English beers, aside from Newcastle, which every beer enthusiast have tried. To a much lesser extent, Fuller's.
Mm.
You will see it in some beer stores. Many won't have it, but I would say probably 60% will. To an even lesser extent is the St. Peter's.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe 20% of the beer stores will have St. Peter's. They have a very strange flavor. And maybe 10% or less will have Bluebird. What is that? Blue. It's an ale, blue. I can't remember. But also you'll have the what is it? Oh, Wells and Young chocolate stout, banana bread beer, and sticky toffee pudding ale.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a few places have Morelands, you know, the Old Speckleton and stuff like that. But it's hit or miss.
Mm. Yeah, I mean the Green King ones, you do tend to find them. If you find them, you'll never really see them on tap that often in a pub. You'll definitely find a bottle of it somewhere, and you see them in every supermarket. They're in every supermarket, but they don't seem to sell brilliantly. Maybe they do, but they always seem to be lying around. When I've been working in, when I used to work for a construction company, we used to do Sainsbury's jobs, and you'd always see just pallets and pallets of Green King beers, and they'd just be lying around. For some reason, they weren't selling. But
oh yeah, over here they're covered with dust.
Yeah. I don't understand that. They just don't seem to do too well.
But anyway, I'm very curious to see what will happen with the Miller. I could jump on that at any time. So whenever you're ready, tell me, because I want to look at this.
For sure.
I only paid $4.89 after tax for a 6-pack.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think mine was £1.20 for a bottle, for a small 330ml bottle.
I got 6 of these tall cans, 473 milliliters per can, 473 milliliters, 6 cans for $4.89.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, I mean, I'll have a look, see if we can get a 6-pack, and tell you the price of the 6-pack of it.
Okay.
But it's more than likely I won't be able to. But yeah.
I really appreciate you joining me.
No problem. Enjoyed it.
Okay, well, take care.
And you. Bye-bye.
Bye.